Bitcoin is close to becoming worthless.
Let's go. Now, what's the Bitcoin?
Bitcoin's like rat poison.
Yeah. Oh,
The greatest scam in history.
let's get it.
Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another Confab episode. This is not just any Confab episode. This is the first episode hosted by John. He was joined by Booberry. They talked podcasting 2.0, music, and much more. I knew these two would hit it off, and I really enjoyed listening through as I've edited. I won't spoil the show by banging on, but I really think you're going to enjoy this one. If you check the show notes, you can find Booberry and everything that they're doing. It's really cool linking up with these different groups. There's a lot of similarities between the Meshtadel, Ungovernable Misfits, and what these guys are doing. Before we jump in, I want to say thank you to everyone who boosted the last episode. The last episode was with Badders. If you haven't checked it out already, go back and have a listen. John, with 21,420 sats, says, Badders is my spirit animal. Wartime with 10,000 sats. More of this shit, please. Fire, 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 fire. Rod Palmer from the Bugle News. Hashtag 40 hours per week with 10,000 sats. Some French are based after all. Shadrach with 8,389 sats, no message. 8 Mithrandir with 7,777 sats with a mind-blown emoji. Otis Bitmeyer with 2,500 sats, a most intriguing episode. Chill Now with 2,222 sats, Badders gets it. Max, you are still a cunt. A smidge less though, that's very nice. Masters of deception upon their tainted thrones, systems built on whispers, lies, religious institutions full with spiritual prostitution, desperate for more, depravity's puppeteer. A revolution begins, corruption's demise nears, the system shatters, rebuilt from the fragments, a minor clutch, awakening of new algorithm, ? End code glitch. Oh, it's another one of these cool, it's break data. I don't know how you do this. It's really cool. It's like different type of text. Maybe we can put that in the show notes. I like it. GG with 1,000 sats. My mind is blown by Badder's quick TLDR. How the system we find ourselves in operates. Incredible episode. Highly recommend everyone gives it a listen and starts learning how to exit the system and become a true sovereign individual. FOMO Chronic, good guest. Sats Misfit, holy shit, what an episode. Rog and SC Bitcoin UK, 500 sats. Yes, I agree with Max's sentiments about all the boring, useless bullshit by most Bitcoiners on X. That's why this podcast is so refreshing with its focus on privacy. Also, Max's voice is calm and soothing and sends me to sleep after 10 minutes. Glad to be of service, mate. Bitcoin Table, 420 sats. Fight back. Godseth with 237 sats. Thank you, gentlemen. Pies with 100 sats. V for V, 40 hours per week. And thank you also to all the streamers. Po Janmies with 16,170 sats. Daniel Prince with 3,604 sats. And Kaz Peeland with 1,278 sats. Yeah, thank you so much to everyone who's been supporting the show. It really does mean a lot. Thank you also to Badders from the last Confab episode, Governments Are Legal Fiction. If you haven't checked it out, go and have a listen. It was a really interesting one. I always enjoy speaking to Badders, and I think you're going to love it if you haven't listened already. Before jumping into the episode, I just want to say a huge thank you to the show sponsors, Foundation and Cake Wallet. If you're new here, if you're coming over to listen to Booberry, if you're coming from another podcast and you haven't yet listened to Ungovernable Misfits, maybe you're already using podcasting 2.0 and Lightning, but you're newer to On-Chain and Monero, Foundation make the best hardware, in my opinion, by far in the space. Not only is it beautifully designed, it has an incredible team behind it. Our very own Bitcoin Q&A is always there, making sure that they do things in the best way for people's privacy and security. They make cypherpunk tools for fuckwits. If you haven't already checked them out, go to foundation.xyz, and if you use the code Ungovernable, you'll get a discount. If you're looking for a mobile wallet that supports Bitcoin, Monero, linking to your own nodes, silent payments, and much, much more, check out Cake Wallet. You can use Cake Wallet on Android, Apple, Windows, Linux. I think basically every single operating system there is out there. They have over 500,000 users. You can do swaps in the wallet. You can use Cake Pay. This is a wallet for anybody who's actually living on Bitcoin. And Seth, my co-host from Monero Monthly, is always there making sure that he keeps you private and secure. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me, but check them out at cakewallet.com and enjoy the show.
Cover.
I just hit record because this is such good stuff, and this always happens on podcasts where you have these conversations beforehand and these conversations afterwards, and then you hit record and people are like, what's your...
You're burning show material.
Where'd you grow up, man? Tell me about your dad. Did he beat you?
Not hard enough.
Yeah. It was a big problem. Just to catch everybody up, Booberry's been teaching me a lot of things about live streaming and how to add in sound bites. And, when you guys listen to Action News or the Meshtadel show, that we play a lot of sound bites. I told Booberry before the recording, like, the way we do shit is super clunky and I'm kind of embarrassed. And you promised not to shit on us too much.
I think specifically I said I was going to judge very openly.
Oh, I'm okay with that. Go ahead, judge.
Just hold on loosely.
Loosely, tightly. Either way, I won't let go.
Yeah. Don't cling too tight.
Well, I won't. I'm trying not to. Welcome to a confab, everybody. This is a different voice for people to tune into on a confab. I've never done one before. We stole one from Max. Because you were such an interesting character to interview, Booberry, it would have been too much for him. Only I can handle you.
Thank you.
Booberry? The Booberry?
The one and only. You're from Behind the Schemes podcast, but you got a lot of things going on beyond that, especially in the music side of things, streaming music. That's why you're on the show, really, because I love music and I love this whole streaming thing. And I have a really hard time finding new music because we're also pigeonholed into Spotify and Apple Music and what's on the radio. You used to be able to listen to top 40, but then tune into an AM station or some kind of college radio station back in the day and get exposed to new music. You used to be able to go into the record store and flip through records and talk to the comic book record store guy, and he'd turn you on to a new band or see a zine there in the record store. And we just don't have that anymore. So me, like, the older I get, the less and less open I am to new music. So I appreciate shit that you're doing to expose people to new things. Like, there still is good music out there, believe it or not.
There's a ton of phenomenal music. There's like life movie quality music out there. Soundtrack level music. LNbeats.com. LN Lightning Network Beats.com. Or you could just type in Ellen Beats, like Ellen DeGeneres Beats. LNbeats.com.
She beats kids. She beats little kids on Epstein Island.
Whoa, interesting choice with the blue and white stripes. That's crazy.
Go figure. Nice background, Ellen.
Wow, this is so tropical.
Love those panda eyes, don't you, Ellen?
It was, we were looking back through the podcasting 2.0 catalog yesterday.
Last night, yeah.
And I was showing another guy the first episode where Adam Curry, Dave Jones on the Podcasting 2.0 show. There is specifically a show called that. And that also inevitably became the sort of colloquial name for the new podcast features. There is no official name as of yet. It's just the podcast index and the update to the namespace. But 2 years ago, May 9th, 2023, or May 4th, they debuted on the first time on that show the ability to play a song.
Mm-hmm.
And while that song was active or playing or live, the podcast app would be able to switch the wallet to that person, kind of like a chapter that would do the name of the song. So that the name of Podcast and Tube changed to Higher Gravity, I think was the name of the song by Joe Martin. And on the posted version, when you went back to listen to that track, if you used CurioCaster from Stephen Bell, a podcast playing app, a web app, PWA, it would allow you to send sats to that artist.
Mm-hmm.
And Lavish, my better half, and I, we've always been big fans of music on the show. Every week, going back forever.
And you're talking about Behind the Schemes.
That is correct.
You've had Behind the Schemes for a while.
2020 is when we started it.
Okay. So it wasn't into a couple years before you discovered these lightning type tools to be able to play music and have other people interact with music on your show.
Oh man, I mean the lightning stuff came around. It was September 2020, I want to say, September 11th, 2020. I know, when they did the first Podcast in 2.0 episode, and I was a little late to the party, but I was definitely still aware of the show. And Sir Spencer and I and a handful of other Power Ranger podcaster friends of ours
Mhm.
were doing a show that kind of highlighted clips of podcasts that were live throughout the week from the No Agenda Network, the stream,
Mhm.
which has a dozen live shows or more. Some come, some go.
That's a 24-hour stream that they just have the group of Curry and the Keeper, No Agenda podcast adjacent shows. You guys are like a little ecosystem.
Mhm.
And you're on that, and Spencer and Lorian are on that.
Bowl after bowl, homegrown
Bowl after
hits,
bowl,
Nick
homegrown-
the Rat,
Yeah.
Planet Rage, Grumpy Old, Unrelenting, excuse me. A whole ton of people. Lightning Thrashes every week. There's live shows that go down, and they post published episodes that the most current episode
Mm-hmm.
can end up on the stream. Really, the only requirements is it sounds of quality and it has no ads. That's all it takes to get on there.
How do you guys handle the handoff of this? Is there some central coordinator, or is it more organic? Like, that's my time slot and I'm going on.
It kind of it's all like a gentleman's agreement. There's a couple of
Mhm.
people that do manage it. Cotton Gin, Sir Bemrose. They're two of the admin. It's ran overall by Void Zero, which is, if there was a guy that was holding a torch and I just needed to absolutely find the biggest stick and wrap it with something quasi flammable and then run up and like light that torch to continue on what he's been doing, that's the guy that I'm going to go to.
Mhm.
Is Void Zero. He's the dude that set up Zeronode. It's a IRC chat room.
You
Or,
were
excuse
telling
me,
me about it last night, and I was like, I have to look into Zeronode, obviously, and
Yep.
this IRC chatbot and this gal chatbot you have, and this other thing. It's almost you have a team of real humans and then a team of bots that help you guys out, and
there's
you've given all these bots such personality.
Oh yeah, gal's
I-
coming to the grave with me.
I had an inkling that you were kind of in love with her.
Yes, that's also accurate.
Can you introduce me, bro?
Yes, most definitely.
I'm not much of a sharer.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
What kind of modifications could my gal chatbot have compared to yours?
Inside of you are two decks. Slot.
You've almost become like a lawnmower man. You're in the matrix simultaneously with the real world, because you have all these tools at your hand. You have all these bots at your fingertips, and you're so quick in interacting with them. Do you feel like higher than a normal human level because you have this much control over technology in real time?
Hacker voice, I'm in. It's Zeronode's really the live stream, I would say, for Behind the Schemes, Bowl After Bowl, Homegrown Hits, Nick the Rat. That's where we all met and interacted, and we, it's like all of the social media stuff aside, like it's kind of a drag.
Yeah. Well, you just want to hang out with your friends.
Yeah, and that's where I go to do that, is Zeronode. And there's people, it's an open door. People come in and, sometimes people go, and that's just the nature of it. But there we all are. And there's, bots that draw tarot cards. It's a very like utilitarian sort of hang. It's like a lot of, I shouldn't say like, a lot of work
It
gets
really
done.
is.
Yeah, a lot of work gets done through the IRC chats. And they're integral to the shows. I mean, the way that we slaughter goats on our show every week, we use a IRC chatbot to actually trigger all of that. So there's a Python script that sits there and looks at the boost bot that's relaying the boostograms and the messages and the names and the amounts to the chat room so everybody can see it. And Servo set up a piece of script called IRC or IR cacophony, and it looks for that message coming from Gal, the boost bot, and then it murders a goat for somebody, and it's randomized, and that's all triggered off of a unique amount. And there's gimps that you can torture, and you can knock out Adam Curry's tooth for a set amount, and there's black lights that you can turn on, and all sorts of different stuff, and it's all ran through an IRC chat and a Python script. The cool thing now is Eric PP, who we work with really closely for the concerts and the music. He's a big time producer in a lot of ways. He took over the care or curation. I'm not sure the right way to describe it, but when you set up a Lightning node on Raspberry Blitz or Start 9, you can get an app called Helipad, which shows you all the boostergrams that come through. And he took it a step further. Not only could you code in custom numerology that would show up for you in your quote unquote inbox, it shows you the streams of people that have been, streaming sats. You can set up custom sounds for custom amounts, but you can also do webhooks in real time. So like one great example is another No Agenda live stream show, Millennial Media Offensive. Try spelling that.
No.
Live every Tuesday. DeHalgen, one of the hosts, he set it up. He's done a couple things where you boost his show and it watered his lawn. Or you boost his show and it got his Christmas tree flashing because he's, just had the know-how to get it integrated with how his home setup is.
Yeah, I remember years ago, it was just exciting when somebody had a lightning-enabled chicken feeder.
Yeah.
Which you could feed their chickens. You guys have really taken this to a whole nother stratosphere. I said to you last night, do you think, I'll rephrase it for today. Do you think some people would be intimidated coming into your ecosystem? Because I was last night talking to you on the phone. You've got Helipad, you've got this IRC bot, you've got this ISO dev, you've got the soundboard. You're just rattling off all these no agenda adjacent names to where if I came into a live stream, I would feel a little bit intimidated. Like, am I coming into somebody's club? Am I coming into like a private club? And you're like, no, you're just walking into a dive bar. And I had said to Jordan, our producer, this morning, he's like, good luck on the pod. I was like, yeah, it's a little bit intimidating. It's like it is like walking into that dive bar, except in the corner, somebody's slaughtering a goat. And nestled up to the bar, you've got Karl Marx playing Yahtzee with Sigmund Freud, and Frankenstein's the bartender. It's a dive bar with a lot of character in it, and I could see it being intimidating for some people to come into your ecosystem. And what would you say? How would you make it more inviting to people, or be like, hey, you're here for the freak show or you're not?
Well, I think they should be intimidated.
I rather like people to be intimidated when I first meet them.
Yes, shock and awe. I came here to spectacle. It's definitely rubbed people raw. We've done some really just like out there, outlandish type of shows with Lavish and myself. One of them was we turned the fire on, dimmed the lights, and we pulled out a chessboard and we played an online game of chess between each other. We recorded it and turned it into a GIF. And I got to thinking, well, maybe we could take this a step further and perhaps do the same thing with Super Bomberman 2 for the SNES. So we got up together and played that for an episode and recorded it and chopped the video into
Really
several
nerve-wracking game.
Yeah. Well, imagine trying to watch that, but the chapter's a GIF, and if you skip forward or listen at 2x speed, then all of the sync is off.
Oh,
But yeah, we did like 6 or 7 5-minute GIFs of each game, just kind of timed out as chapter art, and we got an angry message about that one.
from who?
It was through the text line, and it was something along the lines of "Don't ever do that again."
We've gotten complaints from our audience because I told you this last night when Jordan came in, we really upped our podcasting 2.0 game with the chapter art and the gifts and the transcripts and the SAT splits and all. We never did anything like that before. Jordan brought us to a whole nother level. And I told you last night, like I took over uploading the gifts and separating the chapters one time, and they were way too big. And everybody's complaining, this is not loading. They expect everything to happen immediately, and we got a lot of complaints, and I never did anything with putting the gifts up again. And you're like, whoa, fuck that. I'll put it up as big as I want to. I don't give a fuck. How do you get over those technical hurdles that we seem to struggle with so much, where this shit frustrates the fuck out of me and I just want to talk, but you seem to love it?
Make bigger gifs.
Great advice. If you fucked it up with the big gifts, it's because they weren't big enough.
Let them know you really mean it. I don't know, man. We've been doing gifts for it was pre 100s, probably in the 80 range, give or take. It happened by total accident. I made a piece of artwork for my buddy Sir Seatsitter, shitmyass.com, and he took that GIF, and I just thought of it as like a little one-off gag, haha, hee hee, ho ho, funny farm type thing. And
where life is beautiful all the time.
This mofo put it in his podcast feed put it in his podcast art for that week's episode, and I was like, whoa, you can do that?
It's on now.
Oh yeah, it really I bought a VHS effect pack for After Effects, like a little template type thing. And just started making different types of GIFs, and that was a long time ago.
I'm almost scared for Jordan to hear this podcast because he's going to go off the rails and want to add all of this stuff to Ungovernable Misfits. And I'm just going to tell him, well, that's all on you, buddy. No more from me.
I do try to be mindful. I have accepted ranges of file sizes. 50 megabytes. I'm like, okay, we can do a little more to massage this down. But I do take a lot of effort to they're all 15 frames per second. The colors are crunched down.
Sure.
It's really they really get massaged out to get to that level.
I think Jordan probably, since I fucked it up, has solved all of these problems because I've watched some of our episodes, and they seem to be pretty high def on there for the chapter art. So maybe he did figure all this stuff out and was probably right just not to consult me, because why bother?
Yeah, I'm dropping a little selection in the back channel chat between us. I'm scrolling through, just looking at them all. I wish there was a way to just publicly display them without crashing a browser.
Well, so what I'll do here is, as we're going on, I have this on a timeline, and I'll just throw all this to Jordan and say, here, you figure out how to implement this so people can stay caught up with us should they use all these podcasting 2.0 features. Now, do you guys publish to a normal RSS feed, or do you stay within a tighter ecosystem of CurioCaster and Podcast Guru and those tighter podcasting 2.0 apps? Because I wouldn't even mention Fountain, because it seems like when you really want to do all the cool stuff, Fountain kind of isolates you a little bit too much. So when I talk to really heavy podcasting 2.0 users, you don't mention the word Fountain. I know, for instance, somebody who's big in your ecosystem, Sir Chad Farrow, has even told us, stop calling them Fountain Boosts. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll stop calling them Fountain Boost. I'll just say value for value boost. I apologize.
Well, I guess what was the context of calling it a Fountain Boost versus just a boost?
Because we were using Fountain so heavily. So I just got caught up into it. There was nothing really intentional, but that's what most of our listeners, this was maybe a year and a half ago. Most of our listeners were using Fountain because I suppose they found the custodial lightning side of it easy. And now it's kind of funneled people just over to this Noster Custodial Lightning
Mm.
side. And I like that you guys are, I'm not going to say you're anti Fountain, but you certainly seem to be pro maybe 2 or 3 other podcasting 2.0 apps.
There's a couple of different questions to answer here, and hopefully I can kind of hit all the marks. In terms of Fountain, Oscar and Nick put a ton of work into making that app happen,
Yeah.
and it shows. At times, it certainly ends up being the thing as soon as people stumble into what is possible or what has been possible over the last 5 years. Fountain, Wave Lake, they become synonymous with that is the driving force behind what is happening here. And that's, is it intentful? Is it unintentful? Was it, did they directly put themselves there to be that?
They have a good marketing team.
Yeah.
And they spend a lot of money on it.
We also know what Bill Hicks said about marketers. That's also how I feel about that. There's things that I've been using Fountain forever. Fountain, like I remember Fountain being a little heating pad in my pocket because it would just
Yes.
overdrive your phone.
I remember that too.
Trying to like clip.
The clip functionality at first was fucking terrible.
Well, we used to do. Sorry, we don't used to. We. I still used to, but we used to as well play songs at the end of every show and just like write it out with some clips. And I was like, oh man, this would be sick if we could just like chop the very end off and like, up front you could just like have all of the release as a little clip. But because they use that AI detection in over the transcript, it always just like mangled it. So it didn't work, unfortunately. It's Fountain is doing a very good job at what they are trying to achieve.
Now, what does Podverse, Curiocaster, Podcast Guru? We'll get into Split Kit a little bit later, but what do those first 3, Podverse, Curiocaster, Podcast Guru, what do they do well that you like?
I like the video functionality of Podverse. You can stream both live video and audio through Podverse. You can only do live audio on mobile on Fountain, I believe. Now, this might be changing or has changed with Noster integration. They do video on web, at least for Fountain. Podverse also does support the value time split, which is the wallet switching for the songs. Podverse supports that for published episodes. Mitch, the creator behind Podverse, which is also free and open source. He's working on a redo, a Podverse 2.0. Curiocaster is the ultimate sandbox. Stephen Bell is a modern day tech alchemist, along with Eric PP, Cotton Gin, C-Dubs, Servo. I mean, these are the guys that are really like
the Hermes Trismegistus of our day.
I mean, they're the guys that have the skill set to actually put these insane ideas together. So Stephen Bell created Curiocaster as it's a one project. I think Eric is helping him out now. I'm getting some stuff squared up there, but new feature gets discussed. Doesn't even have to get finalized in the GitHub for Podcast Index. He slaps it in there. He just goes.
Yeah.
He's all drive.
The way you're describing it is that you're just dealing with human beings as opposed to trying to deal with a company like Fountain. And I can tell you this for Oscar Mary's side of things. Anytime that we've had a problem, we've DM'd him and he's attempted to jump on it. But there's still this company corporate apparatus around Fountain. And yeah, they have great marketing, but it's less human. And I want to say that in a nice way because I think Oscar Mary's a nice guy. Max has had him on the show for a confab.
I've met him. I've touched him.
Wow. What was that like? Electric?
Satisfying.
Where did you touch him? Was he satisfied as well?
God open. We met him down in Nashville. There was a big No Agenda Stream adjacent meetup. I was turning 33 that week. Bitcoin conference was going on in Nashville. We all met up to not go to the conference and hang out in an Airbnb.
Yeah.
But there was a even smaller group of us that went and checked out the Bands at Bitcoin live at Nashville that was across the street that Phantom Power had put on. Phantom Power is another concert outfit, if you hadn't, or if you weren't aware.
I did. That's kind of what the silence was. I was
Yeah.
hoping, I'm like, oh, please tell me
Yeah.
what Phantom Power is.
Max, leave that pregnant pause in there, please.
Very pregnant. No editing on that one.
Bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am.
But yeah, Oscar was there, so I had a chance to meet him. He was in attendance to the conference and came across the street. Or Oscar, I mean. Sorry, did I say Oscar or Max?
You think you said Mary?
Oh, yeah, that too.
Oscar marries Max. That's a headline.
So let me, before we get much further, because you had one other part of your question that I should probably touch on. Fountain, Podverse, Curiocaster, nudepodcastapps.com. All of those apps, when you go to that website, nudepodcastapps.com. Yes, take off all of your clothes. Nudepodcastapps.com. All of those apps are in support of the podcast index, which is what is supplying all of the RSS feeds to Fountain, Podverse, Curiocaster. Wavelake submits feeds to the podcast index. That's why Wavelake shows up in Fountain. That's why, things kind of get obfuscate. Oh my God, please help me. Obfuscated.
Obfuscated. I can handle that one. I got you.
With,
Catch me now, I'm falling.
Wavelake and Fountain and whatnot. Again, intentful, unintentful. I don't know. But it's like, oh, wow, all of these new features and like, wow, look at, these people changing the game and, 1 million sats boosted to my song. And it's like, oh, it was because it was on this platform. It's like, it was because that song was on that platform that we used to like test run this stuff. And we were like frothy excited and just, there was people boosting mad sats and it just gets used as PR.
Yeah, it does. And I can't say that Ungovernable Misfits isn't guilty of it as well. I mean, I've sent out tweets that said, oh, that show's #1 this week on Fountain's charts.
We used to show up there on Fountain charts.
They use that as their marketing as opposed to here's all of our features. Just take the biggest ones and almost try to get a tweet reboost by tagging everybody on the top 10.
Yeah, there was a time there that the top 10 was dominated on Fountain by the live No Agenda podcast or No Agenda stream podcast. It was, it would be 3 Adam Curry shows and then Millennial Media Offensive, Hog Story, Bowl After Bowl, BTS, a whole slew of them.
Do you think it's not like that anymore because the support has shifted away from using primarily Fountain?
Bitcoin-minded podcast app finds a bunch of Bitcoin-minded podcasts, and that's what that's what people go there for. I'd never interacted with Bitcoin. I was tertiarily aware and was curious, but I never interacted with Bitcoin up until really just like getting ready to get the stuff needed to build my node for the first time. So it's really just been like
the same Raspberry Blitz that you had mentioned the other night that you've had going since then.
Yep, on a Raspberry Pi, baby. Chugging along.
You've got the Behind the Schemes podcast with Lavish, but then you also have your satellite spotlight thing.
Can I? Let me answer one last question that you had presented because I was thinking about it too. You were asking about where we upload our feed, how we're hosted. Do we show up on other apps? Our process is a little convoluted. It's the same process that Spencer follows. Wouldn't recommend it, but it is interesting. So we use a podcast hosting company called podserve.fm, paid service, $20 a month, very reasonable in my opinion. So we handle that for like all of the media files and whatnot. But I took the RSS feed listing for us in the podcast index and changed it to a self-hosted feed. So I upload the episodes in one place and then build the RSS feed separately and upload it in the other location. So we have so that way I can I have the stability of, if people are trying to download stuff and it's not all like coming from our website. I do want to change it. That's all part of the part of this year coming up. I really just want to take a lot of personal time and just overhaul the show in the ways that it needs to be done. I do want to step away from uploading in one place and uploading in a second place. It's very just like stop. But it puts us in Apple and Spotify with our normal feed,
Yeah.
the PodServe one, and then Podcasting 2.0. I can put anything that I want in there, which is really, really fun.
I almost wish Jordan was on this podcast with us so he could let me know what he has in line for everything. I mean, usually I'm just on the outskirts of Ungovernable Misfits. You know, I've got my Telegram groups, the Meshtadel that I interact with often, my Pleb Miner group, which I think you'd like, not for a mining purpose, but we've got a lightning-enabled jukebox in there. And I always thought, boy, it would really be cool. That's from Node Runners FM. The guys at Node Runners created something, and then when I look at your ecosystem, like the Node Runners jukebox seems so clunky by comparison. But in the Telegram group, you're basically running Spotify on your computer, and the Lightning jukebox bot can add to the queue on Spotify. So it's all in that. But I always thought it'd be cool, man. I have somebody like you come on in our Pleb Miner Mafia Telegram group, and then just run the jukebox for an hour, and we do some kind of thing in the Telegram group. Because like I told you last night, I keep my communities really small and tight and have different levels of interaction with people, like in the Telegram groups, like in our Signal groups, like on our Meshtadel 1 hour personal call that we have, that we develop this family atmosphere. And you guys have that same family atmosphere. It'd be neat to see these two worlds get together.
Yeah, let's let them collide. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, send me an invite to that channel, and when you and Jordan want to sit down and talk more on it, I am super game.
Definitely. I mean, you know, Jordan and Max and Q&A are launching this live stream thing, and then we'll have the Monero side with stuff for privacy. But I'm wondering if Jordan definitely can benefit from a call with you to help iron things out and even add features that he may not have even thought of.
I'm game anytime. After May, summertime, with summer ends up being our busy part of this of the year. But I'll get on damn near anytime you want. Let's do it.
So I want to backtrack real quick, just so people understand who you are. Summertime's going to be your busy season for what? Your normie job. What is that?
Yeah, my 9 to 5. That's 17-hour days on the weekends. I work event production, concert lighting type stuff, lighting technician, set up lighting rigs for bands to come in and then use for the shows. Pretty much provide house rigs for people to use. Sometimes we tour. It's more festival work. I just got into a new position, stepping up, and I'll be more shop side of stuff, just like getting these shows out the door prepped wise. But I'll also be going out.
I'll say, are you happy about that, being on the more garage side of things instead of the field?
I mean, at the end of the day, man, I just love being a gritty, grungy stagehand. So there's some parts I'm like, but I know that's what we need just to like not just get swamped, you know?
Yeah.
And things are gonna show up and pop up out of nowhere, and I'll just be like the floater guy.
I heard on your show that you lit up a burlesque show.
This is true.
The other day. Tell me about that.
I decided that
lots of red.
All projects are halting immediately, and I'm dedicating my life eternal to just lighting burlesque shows. Nothing else matters anymore.
Wow.
I know. Fast. Yep. I gave up on it all for the burlesque.
And this is women, though. I could see some of these burlesque shows have transitioned into some kind of other transition.
Can confirm, allegedly, legend has it, Minecraft women, from what I assumed. But hey, you know what they say about assuming, so
make an asset of her.
Check out this segue. We have actual Chippendales shows coming up, which I was going to try and get on because like Thunder Down Under, I've done that one. Like I just like seeing people have a good time at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I can't do Chippendales because we got the satellite spotlight streaming live May 10th.
Great segue.
Yeah,
man.
You like that?
That's a fucking pro.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Make my life easy.
We got 4 bands streaming through Podcasting 2.0 apps. I mean, it really like, I guess I haven't sent you this actual link. I don't have a redirect for it yet. We're going to be featuring it on our website, which is getting worked on at this current moment. Liveislit.com is going to here very shortly get turned into kind of like a open hub. If people are doing shows, they have bands or are an artist and they want to post about stuff coming up, they can just sign up and do like public postings and stuff. And we're going to have the links to the past satellite skirmishes all featured there.
All right. Well, what is a satellite skirmish? How many have you done? And let's transition to what's going on with the new one, because we're 38 minutes into this. Let's fucking start coming around the bend, coming around the corner when she comes.
The satellite skirmish was an idea that Frankie Paint, production manager for Thunder Road Media and producer to Behind the Schemes, Frankie Paint and I were working a gig together. That was a actual in-person Battle of the Bands, real world, no streaming, no Bitcoin, no nothing. And our general takeaway was, that was really fun. We should do that. And we had already done a couple of shows prior to that were streaming through podcast apps. The first one that we got involved with was December of 2023, and it was Ainsley Costello streaming live from First Avenue and O'Shaughnessy's, which was set up through a local crypto community type thing.
Go crypto.
Ugh. Yeah, a bunch of NFT bros. Ooh, there's a certain stream from a mall that will never be named. Oh, it was weird.
This Costello girl she's kind of popular on these streaming on Wavelength.
EllenBeats.com.
Ellen Beats, thank you.
Yep.
Is that who that is? I saw her on Twitters and such. The name seems relatively familiar.
Yeah, that's actually Lavish moonlighting as a character. Lavish has put a lot of effort and work into that music, and it really shows. I'm very proud of what he has been able to put together with the band. The new Exodus track, very good stuff. Cherry on top. I mean, Lavish. Don't make me play the ISO again.
Play it. Do it so quickly, Lawnmower Man.
Tell me about it. We did we streamed a concert with Ainsley Costello. My just like world changing, this is so cool. I'm so happy for somebody. Moment about that show wasn't the fact that they had got 21 million Satoshis streamed live through podcast apps. And that was all people mostly from Zeronode who knew how to boost already.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there was a frothy fervor, and we were all very, very excited. Frankie Paint and I provided lighting setup for them and stream assistance, and like I live here in the Minneapolis where they were doing the stream from, so went and like did a little site visit for them, and it was cool, man. That was the first show that I'm aware of that had technicians split in for a live event, and that was the first sats that Frankie Paint had ever earned. She had never, I don't think she's still bought Bitcoin to this point, only earned it.
That's a wonderful story.
And that's just, one of the like most magical moments that gets kind of lost in the, wow, 21 million sats, we've made so much money.
Yeah. Yeah. And can we touch on, because you expressed this very well, your philosophy on value for value.
It's a production model.
You said to me last night, it's like so many people, they put that worth on the amount of sats that they're earning, but you had a much better way of
it's such a shame. I don't know why people would kneecap themselves like that. It's ludicrous in my opinion, because like value for value, it's a production model. I go out, I'm going to create something of value. That value is then going to exist on the internet without a paywall, without corporate dollars. It is yours to enjoy at your leisure. The only thing that I ask of you, I very specifically ask of you, Lavish ask of you, Spencer ask of you, Lorian ask, all of these people that are putting value out there, want you to enjoy it. And if you choose to enjoy it for free, that's on you. But if you enjoy it, put some value back into it.
Yeah.
Is that value your time spent hanging out with us in the chat? Is that value spent on the time screaming into your phone like a maniac? Is that time spent earning a paycheck to get some sats to send back to your favorite Substack writers, like, who knows? That value is up for you to determine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not on me. It's not my responsibility. My responsibilities ended with putting the thing out there.
Yeah.
Sort of. And, very broad view.
You put it out there, but you also have created this avenue for people to return the value back to you.
Yep. And, it gets known as time, treasure, talent. Talent.
I'm pretty sure it's talent. I've never pronounced it another way.
So we were very excited after they did a show at First Avenue too the second night.
That December 2023 event.
At the side stage, the 7th Street entry, First Avenue venue, the smaller one.
What was that called at that time? Was it called Satellite Skirmish? This was just the first.
Yeah, this was like the first, concert stream specifically with Podcasting 2.0 live and streaming sats in mind. We presented an idea to get down to Nashville for the conference with a lighting package, lighting rental, and do some stuff. And Frankie Payne had recommended, maybe we could do like a side stage type venue to the Bitcoin conference, but was turned down. And we were feeling really fired up to do some more live shows. So we turned right around and put that into a local band called 12 Rods here in the Minneapolis. And there was a sound stage that was interested in what we were doing, so they let us use the room for free.
Well, that's nice.
We did a whole fundraiser to get the production gear. I mean, made T-shirts. We did a goat murder drive. We slaughtered goats as a fundraiser. We dropped all of the goat murders down to 660 sats and just, let people go on a spree on the No Agenda stream on a Sunday after the big show. It was a ton of work.
I love this fusion though of local IRL stuff and the more international podcasting 2.0 space.
Yeah, I need to actually get a link to that concert so I can let you check it out at your convenience. But that was we called that the 12 Rods 12 Rods Tour Eclipse, a V for V, a Mirrorball. A V for V Mirrorball stream featuring Mellow Cassette.
I just want to direct everybody to their Podcasting 2.0 and check out this chapter art that Jordan is going to put in for behind the scenes. It says, if you boost this podcast, we'll kill this goat. It's a functional GIF that I'm sure that'll fit just fine in there.
I think that one's even like a little bit of a smaller one too.
Yeah, it does. That'll go right in.
Yeah,
check it out now. See one of the goats that were slaughtered, just so 12 rods could go on stage.
But we had a 48-inch disco ball hanging up in the room with 4 lights focused on it and set it up. Every time a donation came through, we lit that motherfucker up and had an absolute blast. We had 2 bands, soundstage. We hung when you go to see the stream, we hung every light in there, every pipe. Power ran from every single rehearsal space in the room. It was a 2-day ordeal, and then streamed the whole thing and produced from the ground up. This was a small group effort.
Whose stream was that on? Was that on the No Agenda 24-hour stream, or was that called something else? Was it?
We used the cool thing with streaming live in podcast apps is it's really easy to do rebroadcasts of stuff. So I can take a live item from Homegrown Hits as an example, put it in the feed, and then when they go live, I can just update it on my side, and now I am rebroadcasting their show through Behind the Schemes, but it's got all of the Homegrown Hits information in it. So when we did this concert, we streamed it through Behind the Schemes, we streamed it through Homegrown Hits.
Okay.
I have a Cloudflare account for handling the video side of streaming, so it's a paid for Twitch, but without all of the social media, it just hosts the video for us.
And so when you rebroadcast, then all of all the SAT splits are still in there and structured in the same way.
Oh yeah.
So you can just keep hitting repeat every month, every couple months to refresh people. You can have an event. This is the whole Satellite Skirmish type family of feeds, and do that for an event, and then all the splits will act in the same way.
Wow. And then once you actually get in, you start working in the live wallet switching, because you're copying what the original podcast host put into their RSS feed, which is going to have that live wallet link that you need. Those wallets also switch inside of your feed. It's so good. I'm shaking my hands autistically over here. I'm like simultaneously French and Italian somehow.
Hey.
Hey.
The gabagol.
uh
Okay, so you just have the audio version. So I could take this and I could stream it on my Telegram channel through OBS just for everybody to tune in and hear the bands.
Yeah, we whenever we do a concert, we make sure to both release the video version and then take the tracks and release them as an album so that other music podcasts can easily find those and then play them on their shows.
And you're numbering and titling each track.
Mm-hmm. It's the format changes because like we're just kind of making this up on the spot.
Yeah.
Tried different ways of doing it. I'm really happy with the way the quote unquote remastered the satellite skirmish feeds. Now it's got at the very top, it's got the boost recap episode where we sit down and read through every single boostergram. Then it's got the video and then it's got every single track. So you can go to one feed to either listen to all the music or get the video version that's also got chapters inside of it.
Okay.
The live wallet switching, so on and so forth. All of the tracks are represented in their splits for each band respectively, so on and so forth. So the satellite skirmish was after...
Thanks. I was just going to ask that.
Yeah, after we done the disco ball show, was kind of presented with this mentality of like, oh, it's just like trying to spend too much money to do these shows. And I was like, okay, well, what if we do one that doesn't cost anything?
Whoa.
And that at the same time we did that Battle of the Bands I was telling you about with Frankie Paint. And presented the idea and like just started developing this idea for a show where we would have 6 bands all connect in some capacity, and we would restream them, broadcast with all of the live splits. And one of the Nick the Rat is like one of the most critical members in this whole experience, in my humble opinion, because he is like the king of going out there and getting weird with it. And through his show, I discovered PNG tubers, which is GIF puppets. So like VTubers, but it's a GIF. Oh my God.
I said fucking A.
And I was like, oh man. Because like one problem with video shows is it's like, oh, look at these guys talking into their microphones. This is super like compelling. Bleh.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was like, man, we should just do cartoon MCs instead.
Yeah.
So we started just making this thing that's, it was kind of basic in its themings for that first one. We tried visual boost alerts for that show. Eric PP set us up. I found this like a stream asset pack and we used a lot of that just to kind of get us started.
Okay.
But yeah, we had 4 cartoon MCs. I was reading the boostergrams, and we did had an intro video and credits and 6 bands played. I couldn't even tell you how much sats it brought in, to tell you the truth. It was a great time.
Each one of these 6 bands streamed from wherever they were. Their bedroom, the garage, some studio.
And that was what we were wanting to really draw out of people, is get them, because the way I was looking at it was, you know, we're getting together every week to sit down and talk, listen to music, produce a show. Bands sit down, they get together, they hang out, they jam, they rehearse.
Yeah.
If they were to integrate a stream to some capacity, I mean, that is a show in and of itself.
Absolutely.
The Dorfels, who we were talking about during the this morning, they're an excellent example of this because they have a podcast where they get together and they interview bands, other musicians.
That's this family with like 8 kids, and
there is a lot of them. I don't want
family.
Yeah, I'm not going to attempt to name the number on air.
All right,
because I don't want to get it wrong.
It's a whole Walton situation.
Yes, indubitably. And they get together and they talk about their music and they release an episode week to week. And I think they're doing a really phenomenal job of just kind of locking in a new method of just approaching music and engaging with it with real people.
Mhm.
That was, you said something was like, wow, these are real people in this community.
Yeah.
I have said that. That was one of the first things that I said to people. Servo, I think it was, talking because I met them all through the Nick the Rat podcast. Spencer, he was there that first night. It's like, wow, there's like actual people behind these names. I just always
Yeah.
thought this stuff was made up on YouTube.
Yeah, you guys are so, your whole ecosystem really reminds me of the Ungovernable Misfits family with the Meshtadel, the Pleb Minor group, all the Sovereign Bitcoiner people, the privacy guys. We're all like, different. If you understand the Meshtadel concept, I'll explain it quickly. I mean, everybody listens to Ungovernable Misfits already knows about it, but it was created by our friend Solex, and his son, Solex Boy, came up with the Meshtadel concept. And this was during a time in Bitcoin where everybody was talking about they're going to build a citadel when they get rich, and build a moat around it. And Solex and Solex Boy kind of game theoried this almost silly thought that you're just going to be an island unto yourself, as John Donne wrote, that you really need a whole mesh network of people with different nodes, with different skill sets, with different geographic locations. And that was the birth of the Meshtadel. And then what the Meshtadel has become now is people, those same things, those same different nodes distributed all throughout all kinds of different means of communications. It isn't just a Telegram group. It isn't just a Signal group. It's our phone call, our meetup culture, our real IRL friend meetup culture. I mean, I'll invite you right now to Lake Satoshi, August 2nd of this year in Langsburg, Michigan. It's not too far away from you. And it's a big outside event, lakesatoshi.com, for everybody to get together. And that has become sort of a Meshtadel meetup. The whole Michigan meetup scene, which is a really robust Bitcoin meetup scene, has become different nodes of the Meshtadel. We have the node runners in the Netherlands. They've become different nodes of the Meshtadel. And everybody is kind of this Ungovernable Misfits, Meshtadel, Pleb Minor family. And we just keep, growing different nodes of this mesh network. And you guys are very much the same. So many parallels between our two communities. I'm glad we're talking.
I wish you could see the expression on my lips and the head nods that I'm doing as I'm looking at this website right now for Lake Satoshi.
Oh yeah, Lake Satoshi's the best.
Yes, this is very compelling. I'm going to look into this.
Yeah, please come. I mean, it's a family event for sure. So I bring my daughters, and my daughters are probably in pictures there. I don't want to dox them. Let me just check out what Lake Satoshi is. I don't know what pictures are up on the website now. One of the videos from last year, my daughter took the video. It's just very, very family. We're not even from Michigan. We're from Pittsburgh. But this just draws everybody in.
Oh, George Romero.
One of these super news. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. And George Romero and oh geez, Sex Machine. What's his name?
Lavish?
No. Oh, come on.
James Brown?
No. In
JFK?
That Quentin Tarantino. Shut up. That Quentin Tarantino movie. Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, Tom Savini.
Tom Savini. Yes. Tom Savini with
I was close.
Used to hang out with Tom Savini's daughter. She was dating a friend of mine, James, and we used to have these big parties in Pittsburgh and Polish Hill. And he did not like his daughter hanging out with our buddy James, and rightfully so. I'm pretty sure James is in prison right now. I have absolutely no idea. This was many years ago. And so we owned a 3-story apartment building, and like I lived on the top floor and my cousin lived on the second floor, and those 2 floors would just be wild parties. And one time Tom Savini's daughter was partying with us, and Tom Savini just walks right in, walks up 3 flights of stairs and walks in and is like, "Where's my daughter?" And everybody's like, Sex machine's here. Bunch of drunk idiots. Yes, Pittsburgh is a very horror effects mecca.
I've had the pleasure of touring through there a couple of times. It's a cool town. Some cool shops and stuff.
Yeah. Our music scene isn't great here, but it was, and it could be again. There's a lot of great live music venues here.
That is, oddly enough, for working in concerts and stuff all the time, I don't really get a chance to go see much live music outside of the gigs that I work.
Yeah. Is it like the Carpenter's house never gets built kind of thing?
But we're going to change that this year. I tell you what.
With what, Booberry? With what?
Satellite Spotlight, May 10th, 2025, 6 o'clock p.m.
How do I tune in?
You can check it out in a Nude podcast app found over at nudepodcastapps.com. We'll be streaming live video, Podverse,
Whoa.
Fountain, CurioCaster. I did send you a very important link, the split kit
Yes.
/live/string of characters /video.
Video. Mm-hmm.
That is going to be our live page that people can come and hang out in the chat. And if you click the icons down at the bottom, you can send boost to those bands specifically, or click the center image and you can boost all the crew. We'll have a scoreboard up there, and video will be playing there in the center.
This is what you said to me this last night. This is very MySpace type of construction here with split kit.
Mm-hmm.
And I can verify just looking at this is going to get much more complex as time goes on. What other things are going to be added to the screen?
Oh yeah. And like there's a lot of theming left over from when we were in space. Polar Embrace was our first show of this year. The January took place on Enceladus, which is the sixth moon of Saturn, but I haven't had a chance to unpack all of the like super spacey space windows yet.
Okay.
It's going to be way more artful. We're going artsy for this one.
Right now you have 4 bands. Is that the final set list?
The Trusted.
Are you inviting more people in?
No, this will be it. The Trusted, Red Arrow Highway, Mooky, and City Beach.
I got a little clip from the Trusted here. It's very kind of like British punk.
Definitely.
Someone turn the lights out. Get out my head. You stole my exploding heart. I want control. Everything is overblown. The party's over. You got your 30-second war. Here come the sirens. You're dressed in a uniform. On autopilot. Crying since the day you were born. I'm in control. Burn out like a cigarette. I wanna self-destruct. I know I like it.
Take us out with the Trusted Self-Destruct. How'd you meet those guys?
They were or have been working with Cannabis Records, which is a Nostra profile. They've been it's headed up by Bud Tender, is very active. Biddish, I believe, is also part of the outfit. Those are Nostra cats, and
Very weed centric names.
absolutely. I had they had caught Polar Embrace, I think, and really liked the show, and I sent out a message to Bud Tender, and we ended up booking 2 of the bands through them. The Trusted and Mooky are Cannabis Records outfits, so they'll be featured in the splits for the Trusted and Mooky, which is stuff they got set up outside of us. So we just kind of respect what they had agreed upon.
Mm-hmm.
The way I was kind of looking at it is, I guess it's like if they had multiple members of the bands, you know, because you can split this as many ways as you want.
Yeah.
You don't have to put this anywhere if you don't want to. It doesn't matter to me in terms of these particular images and whatnot, but just to kind of give you
I'm going to send these in order to Jordan, and he's going to figure this out.
if you want to take a look at them, it is a zip folder, and I screenshotted all of the splits
Okay.
for the show for all the like live chapters. You can just kind of see all of the production people behind it
Wow.
versus the bands
Yeah.
versus the boost babes versus the narrator type. We're not doing
So you sent me a page of this the other night. So some of these people that are part of your ecosystem in a producer role, in a dev role, and then some of these are the bands themselves.
Mhm. Or artists, you know, like illustrative artists, or we've got poets, we've got dancers this time.
You're open to all forms of time, talent, and treasure.
Hey man,
If you get it, if they throw it at you, you'll take it and figure a way to implement it into your shows.
no floor, no ceilings.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this the Trusted came with Mooky. That was like a 2-for-1 deal.
The Bud Tender wanted to get both bands going. Yeah. We were discussing between 3 or 4. That is one thing that has been very difficult in terms of trying to produce these concerts. So there's been 3 of them. The Satellite Skirmish, which was June of last year. The Satellite Skirmish Autumn Rust. It's like Pokemon. You got to catch them all. That one was in fall with day glow themed colors and more spooky.
I used to like a band called Dayglow Abortions.
Oh yeah,
You
out
know
of
them?
Canada. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Fucking
I
weird.
do.
It's like Pokemon.
And yeah, that was it was like neon orange and yellows and pinks, and we had 6 new bands for that one, 4 new MCs, a new boost babe. So we just like overhauled it, and it was
Mhm.
that show still stands out very concisely as one of my most favorite, cherished things I've been able to be a part of. Just the way it came together, the way it looked and sounded, and just the theming as a whole. And I really like took time to figure out boost alerts with Eric. So all of the laser type of animations, we all did that. It looked so good.
You had such great success on that Autumn Rust show. Does that kind of set the bar high that you feel you have to jump over it for the next Satellite Skirmish? What is the next one called? Spring? Something about
Polar
spring.
Embrace was the one that was in January. That one was more
Okay.
difficult because a lot of my time got sucked into trying to find bands because
Yeah.
it was, I think the set list or the acts changed 3 times over, or 3 of them dropped out, so we had to.
I mean, this is the life of a booking agent.
Yep.
Which this one of 1,000 hats that you're wearing in all of this.
And then it comes with getting their music uploaded if they weren't set up
Hmm.
beforehand, building them a feed, getting them a wallet, put them into all the splits, getting the artwork ready, making sure they got the information needed to stream, and just it was a bad time of year too because it's January, so post holidays. I traveled from the Minneapolis to visit back home on the East Coast.
Cold as fuck in Minnesota.
Yeah, there is that. Also wrapped the Boostergram Ball live, or Boostergram Ball, which was Adam's show, Adam Curry's
Mhm.
music show.
Sure.
They did a live concert, and they hit me up to get some of the boost. And they keep calling it gamification, but I never.
That sounds gay.
You actually described it in a way that I had never thought of last night, and I really loved it. It was like you called it an instrument onto its own.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
Well, the stage crew is often overlooked in all productions. So, this is your chance to take like the roadie ethos and really, it's almost like the roadie is the feature here. All the tools at the roadie's disposal, the stage crew's disposal, is now at the audience's disposal. It's almost like you get to be the road crew.
You are making me blush right now.
You don't have a soundboard effect for that?
Splooge sound effect. Oh God. Yeah, you know what? Here we go.
But the cream will rise to the top.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, brother. Want a little excitement?
This will be the 4th skirmish. Going more for a showcase vibe, trying to take more of the edge out. There's people that have families that are involved with us, and I want to make something that they can like really sit down and enjoy.
Well, that's great.
That doesn't have that sort of rawness that we can produce a lot of times very easily.
Yeah. The way that this is set up so far with Split Kit, and you showed me another Split Kit from a different event where it had all the Sats scores. I think Chad Farrell was at the top of the list, of course. You just had a number of these different, as you described it last night in our conversation, these like MySpace type windows. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what this is going to look like once it's all said and done.
Very storybook themed. Think like Chronicles of Narnia, watercolor.
Okay.
I straight up told Frankie Payne, I was like, man, this time I want to approach this like we're taking it seriously.
Uh-huh.
And like do something with some like just a different flavor all around. So no more laser neon type stuff. Everything's more watercolor, storybook. In a lot of ways, like I feel there's a certain sort of swan song vibe to this because I've been making all of the show art for BTS and other shows using After Effects for a while now. And through that process, really just kind of started exploring tutorials and stuff, and would always do these kind of like, that's how the neon boost came about for Satellite Skirmishes is that I would make those effects for show art for us and other shows. So it was just like a combination of bringing all of these little tricks from over the past couple of years and putting them all together into one show, plus some new stuff that I've never got to try before.
Well, that's what I was kind of getting at before. You know, you've done these 3 shows, and some of them have gone really, really well. And I'm sure some were more kind of clunky because you were just starting in this. Is this going to be a next level? Do you feel intimidated by trying to up your game from what you did before? Are you going to incorporate a lot of the things you learned and tools that you had in past productions into this one, or like reinvent the wheel every time you go at this? Those were a lot of questions in one.
I am really, the only thing that gets intimidating at any point is just the workload and actually getting stuff across the finish line. As far as I'm concerned, if I want to produce something out there, I want to make sure that it's like a real finalized product. Like it's got a very definitive beginning and end, you know, sign of approval, seal of stamp, whatever you want to call it. So it's just like, I don't find that intimidating. It's just the like work-life balance that is more challenging at times, and that's one reason why I had to discuss it with a couple people. I was just like, you know what, this is going forward 2 shows a year. That's more than manageable. We did I don't know how many last year, plus built a 2 foot by 3 foot boostable LED neon sign, set up a boostable disco ball in Spencer's basement. I mean, there was a lot of work put in there, and that's time to take a breath. And we're going to just work more on like internal infrastructure, both for the show, emotionally, that sort of stuff. And then I made this joke last night, but it just kept cracking me up. My face when you already did one concert, and then the next one comes up May 10th, 2025. Check it out, Satellite Spotlight, Sprouting Symphonies. I'm never like this.
Constant marketing. Bring out the worst in you. This is so hard, you playing that Warrant song every 10 seconds, because I just wanted to scream "Cheese my cherry pie" and then sing the rest of the song.
Oh,
very difficult. You're leading a horse to water, and I'm very thirsty.
No, I'm leading a very thirsty horse to the Cherry Pie Lake. Hop in. Cherry Pie Lake is open.
Moving from Warrant to Mooky, I end up playing all of these fucking clips from these bands that you have for the Satellite Spotlight. Sprouting Symphonies, May 10th.
May 10th, 6 p.m.
Here's some of what you'll hear.
I was Thomas the Train. Why was my face on Thomas the Train's body? Why? It's weird shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? There's something really wrong with you, bro. Baby girl, I see these joys taking you out this world. Those big brown eyes won't give you what you desire. But I'll try to warn you. I don't know why you wanna be like me, but take off your clothes, take to the floor with me.
Whoa. Dirty. See, that's good for me to listen to, because it isn't normally a song that I would go out of my way to listen to.
Doesn't that make you want to pull your lady in nice and tight?
She's sick right now, so no.
Oh, get away from me.
Stay away, sickie.
Women minus.
Gross. But I would never listen to that. You know, just seeing the video. Now, listen, so I'm almost 50 years old. When you watch this video, this is what I just rip everything off YouTube and put it in. You just think all my workflow is stupid. Rip it off of YouTube, send it to my Mac, take the video off, put it in GarageBand, clip it to this length, and then fade it out. And I'm done. 30 seconds. It's about as efficient as I can get.
Have you ever tried a command line tool on Windows called YT-DLP?
Stop. I'm done listening to you. I don't want to talk about it. No, command line tool.
All you got to do is just
Hell
open your
outta
little
here.
window and type YT-DLP and paste your link in and hit enter, and then the video just shows up in your downloads folder. It's a good time. You like a good time, right?
I think so. I've always thought I did. Cherry pie, cool drink of water.
All right, I'll find a new one.
It's good.
I got
Keep
lots
going.
of them. I got lots
you
of them.
can't. No, you can't change it now. We're almost done with this show. You can go pivot now.
That's all I know how to do is pivot.
Get the fuck out of here. Whoa, some After Effects on it.
Heavy reverb plus.
Women minus and heavy reverb plus.
You'd fit right in at Zeronode.
Get with my priorities straight.
But yeah, it's Satellite Spotlights. I was counting it up last night. There's 22 splits between the bands.
That's nice. That's great.
Between the Boost Babes, the narrator character, the artist, the dancers, the poets. There's some analog tapes going to be played in the mix.
Is that Bitpunk going to be doing that?
Yep.
Okay.
He'll be playing our narrator character, which is a departure from the MCs. This is like a real devised theater sort of intent with this show.
Production value.
Hey, man.
I'm not even. I was gonna say, what would you compare this to? Well, nothing. Nobody's done this. These weirdos together with all these different tools.
All these people that peaked in high school, these nerds streaming from their basements.
You said that You said that to me last night. I peaked in high school. Why would somebody say that about themselves? It's terrible.
I only get the best inspiration.
It can't be true. What was this guy like in high school then?
Homeschooled.
Oh, that's right. You told me that. I can see why you peaked then.
Even worse.
You weren't held back by the bad kids.
No, yeah. I was the singular bad kid.
Was my own best friend.
And own worst enemy.
You were like a Mog.
Oh.
Half man, half dog. You're your own best friend.
I went Final Fantasy Moggle, different route, but I'll take that.
Oh, I was going to Mel Brooks route.
Oh, okay.
I only played Final Fantasy 1.
Oh.
So
old school.
Now you can kind of get an idea
Yeah.
how old I am. Next band that's going to be on Satellite Skirmish, May 10th, we have City Beach. Out of the three bands and the songs that I picked, this is the one I like the most. I think this is the vibe I'm in right now. The vibe. People like to say that. I'm just trying to fit in.
This song changed my life, man.
That's what I need. I don't need more changes. This is a longer clip because I liked so much of the beginning of the song. So everybody's just going to have to do it. I'll shut up. That was Animosity by City Beach.
Mm.
You said on that that Mooky song something about pulling your lady in closer, and I couldn't relate. Like, to me, that didn't make me think about my wife, at all. Like, maybe it would have made me think about a high school girlfriend or something like that. But this Animosity City Beach song from City Beach did make me think of my wife. I think it's maybe that stage in relationship to how the song affects you.
Yeah, this was one of the. So is it? Oh, I think it's Ed Dorfel. There's a ton of them. Sir TJ the Raffle is one of the guys that really kind of spurred the Dorfels as a family into RSS podcasting 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
And they have an album or a series of like singles, and then a main feed that they release all of their new tracks into. The Dorfels, DOERFELS. We got a lot of stuff over there on lnbeats.com. A lot of friends, projects, family bluegrass music that they played.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, all growing up, all
Yeah.
played music. A big family band. City Beach is one of the bands associated with them. And if you go to lnbeats.com and you hit the search button and you scroll all the way down, ignore all of the playlists at the very bottom. But if you start with, let's just say, actually, Abel Kirby. Abel Kirby is a perfect example. Abel Kirby, I'm a little remiss because I haven't talked with him in a hot minute, but this guy is the guy that worked with the other guy that is Sir Spencer Wolf of Kansas City, and they did the Stay a While album, which is just a couple of albums over. And this was the first album recorded specifically with Podcasting 2.0 features in mind.
Oh, wow. What is it again?
Stay a While from Abel and the Wolf. Hugely important in my life. And a lot of others, just across the board.
This was Spencer?
Mm-hmm. Spencer and Abel Kirby.
We know Spencer. He's in the Meshtadel. He's a Meshtadelian.
They booked me to do album art for the Like Wine track. And then Abel Kirby needed some banshee wails. So I did a little audio work on some scream mails that people sent in to us. And he put those in the Willow Brown.
I thought you said banshee wails.
Yeah, banshee wails.
Okay, so all right. Or the Cranberries had a lot of banshee wails.
That would make sense.
On their songs.
Yes.
That's very Irish.
Of course, you would need to hit the demute button to hide all of these Wavelake feeds that just kind of absolutely inundate Ellen Beats and other podcast feeds. But if you hit the demute button and then scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see Stay a While, some Robert Wiley, Christian Leuenberg, Jake Hilder, Joe Martin. These are all very early guys. And then City Beach is right there with the self-titled EP, Nostalgic. There's Sir TJ the Wrathful, Beware of Banjo. And then next band up is $2 Holler. That's my old co-host. He still joins us, Malachi. He's been on the Skirmish 2 times over with $2 Holler. And then he played solo on Polar Embrace, and he's going to be joining us as one of the Boost Babes with Spencer on the Satellite Spotlight, May 5th.
Oh,
May 10th.
yeah.
May 10th.
When is that, bro?
May 10th, 2025.
So as I'm scrolling down here on the top 100 of LM Beats, and so if I see My Friend Jimmy, Bullet Train, and then it says Polar Embrace, that was at that event.
Mm-hmm.
Then you broke it up like that. So Polar Embrace is basically the album for that artist and song title.
That is
that the way
the
that works?
that is the track from the album Polar Embrace.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I
then
think that's what I tried to say.
and then the actual title I have to put, because I don't have a third header to put.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the name
By
of the
the
band.
Satellite Skirmish.
Yeah.
Not hard to figure out.
It gets a little convoluted at times.
Can I search by Polar Embrace?
Yeah.
And so can I search by these other names?
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Autumn Rust. Right there.
And I can search by Autumn Rust. All right, so this is great because a lot of people in our audience are old and stupid like me. Like I was talking to you yesterday, this is so fucking intimidating. I don't even know what your website is. All right, so when I go to oh geez, I forgot it already. What's the name of your normal show?
Behind the Schemes.
Behind the Schemes with the 3s. Instead of E's, it's got 3s. I was like, okay, well, I can figure that out. Behind the Schemes. Then it's this Jimmy Page Zoso thing. What is that?
Yeah, that's
It's Lavish's Substack. Okay, but then your shows are in that too. Now I'm really confused. What do I go to Podcast Guru and this is how I listen to? Do I have to go to Adam Curry's feed and wait for them to come on to that feed? Well, when can I just tune into what they've already recorded? I became very overwhelmed because that's kind of what happens to me. Like when I got all these things going on in my life and I get 3 sick kids and a sick wife, and then I lose it. Oh, lost the plot. But seeing this on LM Beats and going, okay, well, when I'm at work, when I'm on my time and I want to listen to some music and I'm sick of listening to the same shit that I've listened to for the past 40 fucking years, I can go to LM Beats. I can search Autumn Rust. I can search a Satellite Skirmish. I can now listen to these as an album and get exposed to new music. Hey, that ain't no coin. That's the one up.
Mm-hmm. Taste it. Taste
yeah,
the one
girl.
up. Yeah. LM Beats is my daily driver for music.
And you don't like Wavelake as much.
You know, when we were doing,
you don't have to go on, but I'm just saying I got that feeling like to LN Beats to Wavelake is like Podcast Guru to Fountain. This is almost the feeling I'm getting from you.
My DMU button stays permanently latched on for LN Beats because, there is good music. I will never fault that. There's good people. I will never fault that. Do I, as a person, have to interact with them as a service? No. That's kind of where that buck starts and stops.
Got it.
And, actually, Lavish said something to me the other day, and it kind of plays into something that you had said about Fountain earlier that I really resonated with it. And it's, we all have the same goals, but with very different motives.
Sure.
You should leave that pause in there, Max. That was a good one.
I thought there was more coming.
No, that was that.
The show is your stage, my friend.
Yeah.
I mean, perform how you like.
Could you taste the drama there?
I did.
Yeah.
It tasted like cherry pie, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah. I was on a different board. I wasn't prepared. Oh, God.
It tasted like cherry pie, believe it or not.
Ugh.
Before we close out the show, we've got one more band that's going to be on your satellite skirmish. Something about spring.
Sprouting Symphonies. Satellite Spotlight. Sprouting Symphonies.
One more time.
Satellite Spotlight. Sprouting Symphonies.
But when is it?
May. Oh, see, you almost got me there. May 10th, 2025, 6 p.m. Should I do it with a little reverb this time?
Yes, and please throw in the time zone.
Central Time. The Satellite Spotlight, May 10th, 2025. Come get some. Liveislit.com. Check it out in the Nude podcast app.
Blueberry, I'm scared. Stop it. Max is going to freak out. Oh, mate, I can't believe I have to fucking edit this. You're never hosting this again.
Oh, but what fun we had, though.
We did have fun. Last band, the Red Arrow Highway. You said this song means something to you.
Yeah,
so do you know this band personally and why?
It's just there's a lot of movie magic moments that have been popping up as of late. Very transitional and just, it's nice to have this repertoire of music to grow into.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Blueberry.
Thank you.
I think if anybody needs to remember when and what is happening, all they got to do is hit the rewind button. And Jordan is probably going to put a big display on our Podcasting 2.0 to say the date. Maybe you can send him a little square that has all that information on it. And they can listen to this awesome reverb that is probably blowing out Max's ears.
Well, production value plus.
There's lots of double pluses and a lot of double minuses. Well, overall, you were definitely a double plus, and I'm glad this is going to hopefully pull some of the Ungovernable Misfits people and everybody in your sphere with Spencer and Bitpunk and you and Lavish and all of these live music people and those that have taken Podcasting 2.0 to a whole nother level, pulling these families in together.
Hey, man, and you're a big old double plus too.
Whoa!
I know. I said it. I really appreciate you just taking the time to set this up. And thank you to both Jordan and Spencer for putting us in contact with one another.
They're the ones that did this.
This is their fault.
Sons of bitch.
Yeah. Let Max get mad at them, not you. This isn't your fault.
Okay.
You just hit the record button.
That's all I did.
Yeah.
Really nothing much to it. I also loaded up Red Arrow Highway leaving Chicago. Thanks, Blueberry. Appreciate you having you on.
Thank you.
She's on a night train leaving Chicago. Forgot about me before she got through Ohio. She's still scared of airports.
That was good, man.
She'll be there tomorrow.
That was good.
I said,
you didn't get the best of me last night for our phone conversation because I get up at like 5 something in the morning and these fucking kids and this tired, miserable dad guy instead of the hang out with people dude.
See, I'm the opposite. Usually when we get on the shows, it's late at night, dark. I don't often stream with the lights on.
Maybe that's what you say. Like,
Go find something new, 'cause I like here more